eyes, there's a heavy blue, one to love and one to lose. Sweet divine, the heavy true.
In a world where viral fame often appears overnight, Lucy Thomas's rise stands out as a rare case of genuine talent meeting undeniable dedication. Born in Wigan, Lancashire in February 2004, Lucy Thomas entered the public eye not by chasing trends, but through a powerful vocal presence that quickly set her apart. As reporters first began covering her early development, one point became clear. This wasn't simply a young singer with potential. This was a voice with depth far beyond her age. Her formal training showed through in the clarity of her tone and the control she demonstrated even in her earliest performances. But the turning point arrived when she stepped onto the stage of The Voice Kids UK in 2018. At only 14, she delivered a performance that immediately generated media attention, not only for its technical precision, but for the emotional weight she carried into each note. While she did not ultimately win the season, her semi-finalist run created a ripple effect across entertainment outlets, sparking discussions about the emerging wave of teen classical crossover artists. Her audition highlighted an unusually mature sound, and coverage of the show consistently cited her as one of the standout competitors of her year. That exposure laid the foundation for the next stage of her career, one that would unfold not just on television, but across global digital platforms where her impact would soon multiply. But even that strong beginning would pale in comparison to what happened once she entered the recording world. Just months after leaving the competition stage, industry insiders began whispering the same thing. Lucy Thomas wasn't slowing down, she was accelerating. Following her run on The Voice Kids UK, many young performers might have faded from public attention. Instead, Lucy moved in the opposite direction, catching the eye of Cavendish Records. As media outlets reported on her newly signed contract, several analysts remarked that signing a classical crossover teen artist was an unusual but bold move. That decision paid off quickly. Her debut album premiere, released in 2019, displayed both her natural vocal warmth and her remarkable interpretive ability. Industry professionals noted how her recordings maintained a polished sound that balanced modern influence with classical technique. It was the kind of debut that suggested stability rather than short-term momentum. Within just a few years, she released multiple studio albums: Encore, Timeless, Destiny, and beyond. Each release garnered growing attention from online audiences, review outlets, and vocal performance communities. Reporters covering her development pointed out that her consistent output demonstrated not only artistic discipline, but an unusual level of confidence for someone still in her teens. As her catalog expanded, so did her presence in the global music conversation. Her transition from a TV contestant to a recording artist wasn't marked by controversy or dramatic shifts. It was defined instead by reliability, craft, and quiet persistence. And this was exactly what positioned her for the viral moment that would bring her the most public recognition yet. When one of her videos unexpectedly surged into global circulation, newsrooms began asking the same question: how did a teenager from Wigan capture millions of viewers across the world? Lucy Thomas's YouTube presence became a defining element of her rise, turning her from a promising young vocalist into a worldwide digital phenomenon. Reporters tracking viral trends noted the moment her cover of Hallelujah began gaining traction, spreading rapidly across social platforms and reaction channels. Unlike many viral performances that lean on shock value or theatricality, Lucy's videos drew attention for their simplicity, a focus on voice, emotion, and authenticity. Analytics from various tracking outlets confirmed millions of views pouring in from North America, Europe, and Asia, highlighting the broad appeal of her sound. Her channel soon transformed into a hub of high-quality vocal performances, with each upload showing steady growth and sustained engagement. Industry analysts commented on her ability to captivate without gimmicks, emphasizing that emotional resonance was the driving force behind her success. As her online audience expanded, news reports noted that she had quietly built one of the most consistent vocal performance channels of her generation. What began as a platform to share music evolved into a powerful international stage, one that would help usher her into new creative opportunities. And those opportunities led her directly to one of the most prestigious performance spaces in the world. Experts reviewing her performances often reached the same conclusion. Lucy Thomas doesn't just sing notes, she sustains emotion in a way few young artists can. Media coverage of Lucy's rise frequently highlights her vocal technique, pointing to her classical training as the reason she maintains such precise control over tone, breath, and vibrato. Reporters covering the classical crossover space often associate her with an older generation of vocalists known for emotional interpretation rather than pure commercial flash. What sets her apart, according to vocal coaches interviewed in multiple publications, is her ability to merge purity of tone with modern accessibility. She doesn't push for dramatic extremes, nor does she lean on stylistic trends. Instead, she blends traditional performance precision with a contemporary clarity that resonates with mainstream listeners. This unique balance allows her to deliver familiar songs in ways that feel both faithful and newly meaningful. Another commonly reported distinction is her emotional consistency. She maintains expressive control even in higher registers where many young singers struggle. This combination of technique, restraint, and expressiveness has positioned her as one of the most compelling young crossover voices today. And this refined skill set would soon be put to use in a setting far beyond studio microphones or online videos. When news broke that Lucy Thomas would step onto a West End stage, many observers recognized it as a turning point, a sign that her career had moved into an entirely new chapter. In 2024, Lucy Thomas made her West End debut in the musical Rosie, marking a major milestone not only for her, but also for the growing audience that had followed her development across multiple platforms. Reporters covering theater releases noted the significance of her transition from recording environments to live stage performance, a shift that requires endurance, adaptability, and emotional presence. Her work on the Studio Cast album further demonstrated her versatility, confirming that her abilities extended beyond covers and into storytelling roles. Reviews from early listeners highlighted the maturity in her vocal delivery and the smoothness of her shift between gentle phrasing and dynamic projection. For many analysts, this move signaled that Lucy was no longer just an internet discovery or a former talent show competitor. She was now a developing musical theater performer with industry credibility. The West End stage has long been considered one of the most demanding environments in modern entertainment, and her successful entry into that world indicates both professional growth and lasting potential. Which brings us to the final and most intriguing part of her story: what comes next? As her audience continues to expand, industry reporters now watch her career closely, wondering just how far her talent will take her. At only 20 years old, Lucy Thomas has already built a career that blends television exposure, professional recording, online reach, and theatrical performance, a combination that suggests long-term stability rather than temporary visibility. Newsrooms covering rising vocal talent have pointed out that her steady development, lack of controversy, and ongoing artistic discipline make her trajectory unusually strong for someone who entered the spotlight so young. Her consistent album releases, well-received covers, and successful stage debut collectively indicate a performer who is evolving with purpose. While she has not publicly announced major expansions, such as worldwide tour or large-scale collaborations, analysts expect that these opportunities may emerge as her global reach continues to grow. Audiences gravitate toward authenticity, and Lucy's approach remains grounded, controlled, and emotionally sincere. As she moves into the next phase of her career, one fact is clear: she has already built a foundation strong enough to support whatever artistic direction she chooses. Whether she continues developing her recording catalog, expands further into theater, or enters entirely new creative spaces, her path remains one of the most closely watched among emerging vocal artists today.